I was well disciplined as a child. I was a stubborn child. Anybody, if you grew up in Benin City, go to Edo College today and go and ask for me. They will tell you my history. There was nobody that didn't know me. I fought my teachers. I fought my principals. I fought even SS3 students. I fought seniors. I fought my mates. This was something that I was known for. You understand? My parents would discipline me. Then I used to think they hated me. But I grew up knowing something. When I finally left Nigeria in 2009, I understood the discipline they were giving to me. And it has made me the better person that I am today. So when we see our parents come to discipline us, it's not because they hate us. So let's not come up with this toxic nonsense in the name of wokeness. Oh, our parents were abusive. Our parents were this. Yes, I may not agree with the methods they used. I may not agree with the methods and the way they used them. But you cannot tell me that the methods they used were because they hated you. It was out of a point of love. That is why you see things these days. In those days, I never had a Facebook account at 12. But these days, come around and see it. Kids these days have Facebook account. There was a time a story trended where a lady was seen riding a guy in one school like that. And probably these things may this thing happened because there was lack of adult supervision, and the adults in her life probably didn't discipline her enough. Probably didn't tell her that, look, these are things you don't do and these are things you do. So let me round up by saying this, because I think others, I must give others the privilege to speak. Look, there is no war between men and women. Men and women must coexist for the world to be a better place. If you are fighting a war, you are fighting a stupid war that you will never win. Because let me tell you something, no matter how much you hate men, even as men, we still have some who are toxic. I'm not going to shield you because you're a man. I'm not going to shield you when you are being stupid. There are times I tell my fellow guys, hey, this thing you did is not right. And I will tell ladies, this one you did is not also right. I like being fair in my judgment. I like being fair and just because I believe in something. And this was a mentality my father left in me, that posterity will judge us at some point in our lives. I want to be remembered for something good. I don't want to be the richest man in the world and lose my values as a person, lose my values and not be able to train kids and impact value in my children. I want to be able to have what yeah, I'm running up now. I want to be able to be comfortable enough to give my children the best of life, impute good values in them, and make them understand something, that the world will be a better place if we can all come together, if we can work together, devoid of whatever things that may divide us, and understand that both of us have struggles and learn to appreciate each other. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Henry. So that's what I said about letting married people speak on spaces. This is what you get, guys. Compared to what these people have been saying, the single people on the spaces since. So now you understand why I love married people talking on spaces. There's so much calm and peace when they speak. Compared to some people, I don't want to mention their names, but you know them. So, anyways, thank you once again, Mr. Henry. So now we're going to
You
get
know, when you're talking about single people, there we have single people in this place now. Dineka, what's up? Dineka.
no Neka is
Yeah,
actually calm.
R15. I'm busy. I'll come back.
Nah, she's quite calm, guys. But when a single person speaks on this space, like, trust me, you will know. They usually shout on spaces and say different stuff that they. Let me just keep quiet. Let me just stop there. So, anyways, guys, welcome to the space. Good evening. It's 5:57 p.m. Nigerian time. So we've got new speakers. OJ's and this OJ's here. Coco, Captain, Captain Jesus. Um, I'll just call you Captain, man. I'll just stop there so I don't spoil your name. We've got 20, 10, 20. We've got IVs, we've got Shilpo and Lady Whistle down his back, and he cheers Strauss. So we just say from a man speak, we'll go to a woman, from a woman back to a man. So I think the next person that has to be let's hear from Lady Whistle down. No, no, your note I'll come back to you, Whistle down, your note speaker. Let's hear from your speakers. My apologies. So I think we'll go to 20, 10, 20.
Has Coco spoken? Sorry for interrupting. Has Coco spoken?
Coco is no longer here. I can't find. I think he's
I am the least bag, which is cook no longer here. Now,
Jesus Christ. Henry was here before you, Coco. And please, I decide who speaks next. I don't need suggestions. No disrespect intended. Please. 2010 20, go on. After 2010 20, go to Coco.
All right, thank you so much. That's my little sister on my Avi. So you think it's me? No.
Oh, it's not you. Hold on. I have to actually speak to the one man, one woman. My apologies if that's not you. So I'll go to a woman. Ivy, Ivy there.
Hello, everyone. Mm,
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
All right then, Ivy, go on. You have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much. So, the question is: what culture creating more toxic women or men? Hmm. Yes. There is. I consider myself woke. It's important I lay this out there, but I feel like my issue with it is for every movement there are the extremists. There are people who along the line get carried away with their emotions, right? They're bereft of logic, and then they always apply an emotional approach to things. You know, they're also the category of people who want to profit off it. I come across a lot of them on this platform, Twitter. You know, it's not they even go against their conscience. That's one of my problems with this wokeness. They even go against their conscience, they go against their belief, just because they want to fit in. you know they just want to be part of the herd, so they agree with every Tom, Dick and Harry ideology that's thrown on them because they want to fit in. The group of people who just carry narratives because they want to profit off it. For example, I'm feminist. Do I have you know moments where I am not proud of it? Yes. Due to the fact that there are some people who have zero to no knowledge about it, but they're just wanting to feel among, or they just want to call themselves feminists because of what they can benefit from it. So this is a part of wokeness that I do not agree with. Another one has to do with the cancel culture. If you do not agree to a certain ideology, then people will cancel you. That's where the you come across toxic, vile people, because someone cannot. The last time I checked, Twitter is like a platform where we come to share an opinion, but you can just put something out there, in as much as some people say some things, they just say some things, and they they do not, how do I put this? They do not acknowledge that they're speaking from a point of privilege, but they just say some things, and then you have someone say something, and then you just have a crowd of people coming after the person who replied the tweet, attacking the person, and you have the people who belong to the league of hypocrisy. You have people who are hypocrites, right? Because they want to, you know, benefit off the wokeness and everything. Like it's just like it's let me use the word sad. Yeah, it's sad to see that something as beautiful as information, exposure, you being in the dark, and then now you have the knowledge and everything, now you're woke. It's hard to see that people hijack it, for their own benefits. So yeah, I agree, it has created toxic individuals. Like, I agree. So I think that's all I'll have to say for now. Thank you so much.
All right, Ivy. So Ivy, about this woke culture, like what are some examples you have regarding this woke culture that you just despise so much that you wish people could just stop, especially women?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the last line.
All right, so I said about this woke culture, like what are some examples that you can give us that you just wish they could just stop, especially women?
Especially my gender.
Yep.
Okay. Mm, I feel like, okay, the pick and choose. I
Can
mean,
you
if
like
you want,
Can you
The
like
one,
elaborate more on that pick and choose?
okay. Hmm. Um, I would give an example of the Roxane Gay's read, The Bad Feminists. You have women who push the feminist narrative and they still want to, you know, enjoy African um the African woman, the benefits that the African woman gets from their patriarchs. Yes. And also, you know, yeah, the one that we say, there's something that we feminists say, let people have their things, and then you have someone being crucified for wanting to be a traditional wife. We clamor for everyone can want what they want and they stand by it, but then you criticize someone for wanting a thing. You don't want someone to criticize you, but you want people to accept you. You don't want anyone to criticize you, but you are criticizing other people for their choices. I think that one is very common. What else? I just think the ones that I've highlighted are just the main ones in circulation. Yeah.
Okay. Now, speaking about this, this idea where most women are like, let's talk about equality. If a man can get this, I can get this too. If a man can do this, I can do this too. So what about that one?
Okay, the concept of equality.
Yep.
I don't wish to go, or should I say dive into this topic, because I don't want to waste. If you notice, I try to be brief, but because you asked the question, I would, touch it. But I want to understand your question properly. I didn't quite get that, so I
I mean,
don't.
the idea of equality is also, a subset of being woke. Do you understand?
Yes, of course. Yes, I acknowledge.
Exactly. So, like, what's your take on equality?
Okay, now when we talk about equality, we're talking about economic and social, right? And I am heavy on equity, right? I results. You cannot be demanding for equal pay, and you do not put much. You don't put, your input is less, and then you're just demanding. And why? By reason of just being a particular gender, you feel you deserve something. I do not agree with that, right? And I feel equality is not just equality as people. I liken it to an equilibrium, right? When we're trying to balance something doesn't need to be straight to be balanced. I feel like if I go deep into this, I will get attacked, and they will call me a bad feminist, and I am not into part. I don't like to be dragged, right? So I choose not to dive into this, to be very honest. So I would just rest my case there. If you have any other questions, if you don't, please kindly move me down to the audience.
Oh, right. I mean, you sound very nervous with that, Sakai.
Of course, I not really nervous, but I feel like I have the right to choose what's and what
Of
not.
course, no. Of course, you have the right to
Of
choose what
course, I
questions you
do
answer
not have
and the
to
ones you don't answer. I
know
understand that part, but
how well people are on this platform. So, and I honestly do not have the strength to engage. There's a possibility that we might never meet in our lifetime, or we might. So I don't have time to exchange. Yeah. Thank you.
okay. All right then, Ivy. So, guys, we'll move on from Ivy to finally Coco.
Hey, what's up, Dubem? The man's man, fight me,
My
ain't gonna
time,
fight tough.
my brother. Good evening, brother. So,
I
please,
swear,
Coco, go on.
yeah. So, about the topic here. Now, I'm gonna say this. The problem I think we have is that we are losing our values system. That's one. I completely agree on the woke culture. I mean, everything going on, feminists and all that. Upgrade is
Describe.
okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Is that an insect?
Someone's going to electrocution. Sorry about that, guys. So, Coco, please the weird sound coming out from your mic. Very weird
Yeah,
one.
it was network. Sorry. It's okay now.
Yeah.
Look, there's room for upgrade from what our mothers, had used to go through in the past. Do you get? But taking it to the extreme now, that's where the problem is. Everything in life has a moderation. Everything. Anything you overdo, no matter how good it is, no matter how important it is, even if it's a drug that's meant for you, it becomes a problem. Water is good. We drink water to survive. We eat food to survive. If you overeat food, you become obese. If you drink water, trust me, it has its own issues. So everything that is not done in moderation and loses its trajectory and purpose becomes a problem. Do you understand? Now, feminist and the whole woke culture thing has its own place. But when you want to try and equal it to equal rights, equal this, equals that, it wasn't meant to be that way. You and I, as a lady, we can't have equal rights. We can't have, okay, fine, we're saying equality. If you commit a crime, whatever punishment that is meted upon a man should be meted upon you. Or whatever, thing a man is supposed to get, you should also get it if that's the case. So there should be a bit of moderation in everything we do. Do you understand? Like my mom, let me give an example of my parents. My mom is someone who's a hustler. She did walk. That one, she did hustle die. Do you understand? And at some point, he was like, look, I have enough money to take care of everything. So I don't want you to work. You get? Now, if it was this gender and this point, this place, the people would say, they call my bed. They call my bed. No vex. The people would say, oh, why would she give up her work because of her husband and all that? But she was being loyal, being a mother, and being submissive. Now, fast forward to now, where times are hard. I mean, she lost 2 kids. My dad's money can't sustain, according to him, as he had initially planned. And trust me, eventually it's going to be a problem. And literally, in fact, they had a fight one time. I literally had to call my mom and because my dad called me, he said stuff. My mom called me, and I told mom, see, look, you guys never had issues, right? When he was able to keep up. And now you're having issues because, you're thinking about the fact that if he had allowed you to do what you want to do, work as you were wanting to work, at least you would have kind of supported right now that things are a bit hard. So you know what? Let him be. Let me take up the bill of paying you monthly so that at least you have your own income and you can do shit. You don't need to bother whether he gives you money or not. You just got your own thing going on. Now, the feminist movement in this era right now would find that as a problem because they wouldn't want to bring themselves down. And that's why relationship right now, marriages don't even survive because everybody wants to be equal with the man. They want to do and undo. And that's wrong. The value system we had back then is being gradually eroded. I told someone, look, if you're not going to be intentional, we come together and I will take care of you as a woman, as my wife. But look, it's okay for you to also have something to do. I'm not depending on your money, but at least there are times when things would go sour. Now that's where you are now going to be like my support till I can get back on my feet and stand. A woman is like the engine block for every man. Every man in this life cannot deny the fact that, look, my life is better because of a woman that is in my life. When it gets tough, she supports me. When I bounce on my feet, I take on the job that I was meant to do as a man, which is to take care of her, protect her, and make sure she's well to do. But there are times when, okay, it might get sour. Now she's there to back him. So when you want to say equality now and all that, and that's where the problem is. Now when times goes down and this man is down, because you're now a woman and you're practicing feminist, not the feminist that I believe in. I mean the extreme one. You're now like, man, you don't care. You can do whatever you want. or maybe he's not satisfying you or something, and you're going, out of your way to do shit. It's wrong. And eventually the marriage don't survive. You guys break up and you preach to people that marriages are this, men are scum and all that. But the truth is you're being toxic. Same thing with men. So it's not just going women alone, same thing with men. My mom literally taught me a lot of things I know today. How many families, let's be frank, believe that a man needs to be taught how to respect a woman, how to treat a woman, how to, talk to a woman. Most times, they just believe that men are just meant to just know what to do. Women from inception are taught how to dress, how to behave, how to this, how to that. It's good and all that, but is it the same for the men? No. Most men are just go find yourself. You just anywhere you find yourself, and that's why most men get it wrong. Most of the values I have today, most of the things I know today, most of the respect I have for women today is because I was actually taught and told, you don't do this, you don't say that, you don't treat this, you don't. Most times you probably just look, walk away, don't say a word, let her have the say. I mean, women talk, so let them talk. She's gonna rant, let her rant. You're the man, walk away. There's no point raising your hands at her. When she cools off, you can come back and you guys can settle things. But because those value systems are being eroded and the whole feminist movement and all that is being championed, and some people are already hijacking it to stand against the value system that we had from time. I'm not saying what we had back then was completely okay and flawed. No, it wasn't flawed, it wasn't flawless, but we could build on it. And some women are building on it. I mean, a lot of men back then didn't like their wives working. They felt they could just take everything. I believe that a woman should be allowed to work, go to school. Back then, some men don't let a woman go to school. They don't let them work. They don't let them do shit. But I believe that right now, it's okay to let them work. It's okay to let them go to school. It's okay to let them aspire to become something that they want to be, better than what they used to be. It shouldn't be cut short because they're women. No, I don't subscribe to that. But where my problem is now is taking it to the extreme, to the point where you feel, okay, you can be neck to neck with it. Like, never be like that. You'll be, it will not be like that. You have the right to be a feminist and to practice some certain things, but do not take it to the extreme. That's where most women get it wrong. And that's why relationships and marriages right now is like at the all-time high of divorce, because extreme feminists have turned it to other things. And those who are gullible enough not to be able to stand and know what is right or wrong, they're now taking it and bringing it into their home. And that's where the home crashes. I'm not going to, drag too much on it. I'm going to stick to my, I just want to hit that on the head, Dubem.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Coco. I mean, I don't actually have questions for you, to be honest, because I don't want to waste time. So let's just move on. So we've got another Coco on the speaker section, but I think we'll go to a woman this time. So let's hear from let's go to another. I think it's Shilpa.
Thank you, Dubem. My apologies if I'm not able to pronounce your name correctly.
No, it's okay. Go on.
Okay, so, well, like anyone who is actually
Oh, all right. I just want to debunk what Noel said. Can you people hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Anyways, I just wanted to debunk. What Noel said before.
You can like speak
Oh,
about the
okay,
topic, then
okay.
after then, yeah, you can say, okay, I disagree with you, I don't disagree with you,
Oh, all right. Okay, so work culture. I would say that I will try to make it brief because I have some points here that may be a bit long, but I'll try to summarize it. Work culture does have positive aspects, like it makes people of certain groups, such as like Black people, women, men, whatever it may be, or people who don't feel like their opinions are being heard, to feel heard. I feel like that is something like the support groups is something that positive that have come out of it. But I would say that when it goes to the point where somebody can be critical of something or question something is when, like the tribal mentality is when things now, go downhill and there's a problem. And I would specifically say that I will touch on two main points on the bad aspects of woke culture. First of all, I'll talk about the fat acceptance movement that Americans are pushing upon everybody who has internet, whether they are from Africa, the West, Arab. Like the fat acceptance movement for women is one of the worst things that ever came out of woke culture. Being obese is not healthy. It's not a misogynistic point. It's not because of any internalized misogyny, it's just a fact. Obesity is not healthy. You're more likely to get type 2 diabetes. You can't walk. If somebody that is over 300 pounds walking to the kitchen will make you sweat. It will make you sweat like an athlete that has run for 5 hours. It's very unhealthy, and it doesn't have anything to do with misogyny. It's just a fact. Take care of your physical health as a woman. And then as for the men's side, I think the worst thing that ever came out for men is the red pill delusion. Kevin Samuels has made a lot of men think that they are the 1% earning men. Like they have made a lot, like they think that they are the 1% earning men and they can fuck other women while their women stay loyal to them. First of all, on average, a woman is more attractive than a man. So if you play that game, she can play that game too and get more men than you. It's something that you lose. The same way, if a woman fights a man, she's going to lose. When it comes to attractiveness, women get more options. That's just this fact of the society we live in. So if you're going to play that game, she can play that game behind your back. She can go and fuck other men while you fuck other women, and you think that she's being loyal to you because you're who. Anyways, and I also think that most people find it hard to reflect on themselves. Like just in general, most people find it hard to question an idea, especially if the idea has been implemented in them for years. Like we learn from our parents, and
Well,
in fact, they
I
barely
think it
know
was me.
much.
That's why I kept quiet.
So can you hear me now?
Network.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
I mean, for now. Yep, for now.
Go ahead.
Okay. So what I was saying is that most people find it hard to reflect.
No, I think it's bad. I think it's really bad.
Can I
Wait,
come
try
back?
again. Try
Can you
again,
hear?
Nancy. Try again.
But I heard the last part of what she said, though. Yes, I can actually hear you, but you're going in and out. But just go ahead. We can pick the bits and pieces. Just go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go on, go on,
It
go on.
looks like yes, we can hear you
It's
now.
better.
Go on.
Jesus.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that most people find it hard to reflect on themselves, whether they are a man or a woman. And also, if you are a woman who is in a relationship where your husband is the head of the house, you're a traditional woman, you're not a feminist. That's just the truth of the matter. And equality always meant equal opportunity, not men and women are the same. Like people just bring that up to discredit feminism. If you want to criticize bad feminists, criticize them. Um, Also, we don't have to live like our ancestors to be happy. Like clearly, the younger generation doesn't want that. So I don't know why people keep trying to force them into that kind of lifestyle. They don't want it. Cope. Um, Another bonus point to what someone said about this thing that your parents treated you the way they like the technique that your parents used to that people's parents used to train them that it may have been toxic but they did it out of love. It doesn't matter, it's still abusive. And being gay is not a choice. If you're not educated on a topic, it doesn't matter. People will criticize your opinion whether or not you're educated on a topic. Like freedom of speech does not mean freedom from criticism. And that is all I have to say for now.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm Adulty too. So guys, we're gonna move on because I'm trying to save time so I can ask too many questions. So let's go to OJ.
Dubem, finally. And finally, give me Mike, Abi. After
Welcome,
3 years,
welcome, my brother. Good evening.
how you doing now?
Fine, my brother. I mean, I'm actually in a very, very good mood, man. I'm just watching the football match.
Sorry?
So I'm in a very, very good mood. But go on.
Okay. So very quickly, Noel has said most of what I wanted to say. But I just want to add a few things. First of all, I think the world has moved into a very, very funny realm. Like the modernization of a lot of things has had, yeah, some parts are good and some parts are bad, and the parts that are bad are really bad. Now, there was a time when people were accountable for the shit they did, and in fact, shit that other people under them did as well. But now, people want to be free from the consequences of the things they do. People want to talk. People want to do things and want to be insulated from repercussions. And when you keep fostering the notion that people can do what they want and say what they want and they're entitled to it and nothing will happen, like you're just going to create a world that there's chaos. Like it's okay, yeah, it's okay for people to have freedom, yeah, but there's your freedom is only as you're only allowed to be as free as your choices are not affecting somebody else. Like once it transcends from you to somebody else, then it's a very different thing altogether. Now, for the woke culture, it has had its good part. Like I'm not even going to lie. Like it's the same thing. Even traditional way of doing things had its good part, had its bad part. Like I'm going to talk on a very, very important topic, and that's rape. Traditionally, when rapes happened, or in the olden days when rapes happened, people used to cover it up. Yeah, families used to cover rape, especially when it was done by a family member. A man will rape his brother's child. A woman will rape her sister's son, like, and then they will keep it within the family because they don't want people to know. And then they won't even ostracize the person. Like, this is this to happen, and it was shitty to me. I have an ex that it happened to, and it was very shitty. But I like the discussions we're having around rape now. Like, it's bad, naming, shaming, prosecution, all of that. It's all good. Like, there's good parts of living cultures that were traditional, things that people used to do. The same thing, killing of twins. Let's kill twins. I mean, there's things that used to happen naturally or occur, and then people would attribute it to something spiritual. They would now they would ostracize you for it, like things that are beyond your control. In fact, people that were left-handed, they were marginalized. I mean, like some very, very funny things that used to happen in traditional realms that do not make any sense. They still don't make any sense today. But we've come out of them. But there's still parts of tradition that were good. Do you understand? Like there's parts of tradition that are good. And the parts of tradition that were good, that are in line with what biology suggests or dictates, are the parts that I feel like we should uphold. Yeah. Now, we talk about provision and protection from men, and that has not changed. In fact, like since the beginning of time, men have always been charged or tasked with providing and protecting for women, children, the world at large, building shit. Like it has always been that way. Yeah. Those things have not changed, even now. But now there's an option for that for women, but then there's also the option like to stay at home, which is also good. Yeah, it's also good. But here's my problem, and this is where feminism comes in. Feminists tell you that they are equal to men. They want equal rights. Like I cannot think of any rights that men have that women don't have in the first place. I don't think there's any right that men have that women don't have, but that's another discussion. But generally, when it comes to feminism and money and power and influence, like the conversation is very funny. Like it's always skewed. And this is the toxic part of woke culture. You cannot say that you are equal to somebody. You cannot be earning your own money. You cannot say that you should have a say in this and that and that. And then when it comes for you, when the time comes for you to bear responsibility, you don't want to revert to the traditional norms. Now, there's a very, very loud feminist on this space, and she's always talking about how she's for feminism, but then she also talks about wanting to be taken care of and flown up and down and being spent on. And I mean, like, you want to enjoy the traditional benefits of being a woman while also disparaging the men that make that sort of life possible for you. Like, the two cannot coexist. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. Like, you have to stay one place. Like, if you're a feminist and you're expecting me to pay your bills, then what feminism are you feminizing? Like, I don't know what feminism you are practicing. Like, you need to have opinions. You need to have ideologies that you believe in and stand by, regardless of the circumstance. Like, you cannot be picking and choosing what ideologies you stand by only when it suits you. And that is my only problem with wokeness and feminism and LGBTQ guys. They tell you that they want to be accepted. Like, nobody's stopping you from fucking with your fuck who you're fucking. Fuck who you're fucking. Like, nobody, I mean, like, but you cannot try to force me to accept things you do. Then you don't have to accept the ones that I do as well. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. That's just the what's the word? That's just the thing. So yeah, tradition has its place. Biology has its place. I believe that men should provide for women. I have always believed it. I will always believe it. Yeah, and that comes with a sort of, I mean, that's basically a responsibility. And that responsibility cannot come with some form of authority. Yeah. Responsibility without authority is slavery. Like, I don't know if you've heard that before, but that's what I believe. Like, if somebody is responsible for this, that, but they don't have authority over that thing. Like, authority does not mean subjugation. Yeah. Like, this is even voluntary authority. Like, I want this man to take care of me, provide for me, keep me safe, cater to my feelings, this, that. And this is, I'm going to give him this power over me so that he can take care of me. Like, the power is not subjugation. And that is why I would always advise women to choose competent men. There's lots of fucked up men in the world today, like very, very fucked up men. And sometimes it's very possible for you to get mixed up when you're trying to do your choosing process or your selection process, because people pretend to be who they are not. And that in itself is a problem. So if you're going to relinquish power, or you're going to voluntarily give authority to somebody else, like over you, it has to be somebody that you have vetted to the best of your ability, that this person is competent emotionally, financially, and in every other sphere that matters to you, so that you're not going to regret your choices in the long run. And if it so happens that this person was putting on a facade of who they are or who they are not, then you should also have the option to leave. But then, when you say these kind of things, you are now the bad guy. Like, I was listening to an interview yesterday between Piers Morgan and Andrew Tate, yeah? And Piers Morgan was asking me a question, and the question was basically about going out. Like, if your babe says she wants to go out in the night, yeah? Are you going to let her go out in the night? But she has the right to go out if she wants to. I mean, she's an adult. If she wants to go out, she can go out. Like, nobody's going to hold you from going out. But if you want to go out in the night in a bad neighborhood, yeah, I have the right to tell you not to go to that place. Because if something happens to you, like if you get into any form of trouble, any sort of trouble, like it's me you call. Like, I'm responsible for your safety, like to this extent. So I think I get the saying, whether you need to go to that place or not. In the end, going there or not going there will still be your choice. But I can say I don't want you to go there because it is late in the night and it is also unsafe. But if you say that kind of thing out loud, you will have said that, and that's what I believe in. But if I say that out loud now, Like, I'm a bad person. I'm a misogynist. I want to subjugate men. I want to control men. The truth is, everybody needs some form of control, men and women alike. Like, you need some sort of regulation, even especially when you're in a committed relationship with somebody. Like, you see men that used to hang out every night, go out every night with their friends. When they get married, it drops. It has to drop because you have a responsibility to your wife. You have a responsibility to the new home you've created. Like, that is the way things work. Like, it's if you're going to get into committed relationships or commitments generally, like, there's things you have to compromise. Like, the same thing with democracy. We are voluntarily giving authority to this man over us so that he can provide the necessities for everybody. That's really what it is. We have chosen this person to be our leader so that he can lead us and do the right things for us. That is it. That is the contract we have with the government. And when we see that this person is not performing anymore, we impeach them, we vote them out. That is the way it goes. For you to be under somebody's benefaction, like, they need to have some sort of authority over you, and that's the way the world is. Like, it doesn't sound pleasant, yeah. It doesn't sound pleasant, but if the person you have chosen, like, to lead is competent, then there will actually be no problem. Like, you're only as a leader is only as good as followers, and likewise, like, in fact, you can't even be a good leader if you've not followed. Like, the man that knows how to lead is a man that learned how to follow somebody. So it's really a cycle of stuff. So in the end, let me just round up now. In the end, there's aspects of woke culture that are good. Like, you should question everything. Like, you should not accept things blindly. And that's what I do, and that's what I advise everybody to do. You're all entitled to your opinions, whether you think whether it is foolish, whether it is stupid. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But what you are not entitled to is hurting somebody and hurting other people, or trying to harm them, or trying to discredit them. Like that's not your entitlement. Like, there's freedom of speech. There's freedom of speech, but there's freedom after speech is a different thing. There's also freedom of speech. There's also no freedom of, you're not free from the consequences. You get? Like, so, like, people need to be more understanding of these things so they can live happier, healthier, and better lives. Everybody's not out to get you. Yeah. If you're a broke man, it is your duty. It is your duty to work hard on yourself and make a better life for yourself. If you're a broken man, it is also your duty to do that. If you are an ugly man, same thing. If you're an ugly woman, same thing. Like, in the end, all of this is in your hands. So you need to do the best. You need to put in as much effort as is needed. And you need to know how much effort will be needed for it to elevate you from your current status. The person that has a high IQ or something, or someone that assimilates faster, does not need to put in as much work as somebody that has to read over and over and over. You need to know your person. Like, you need to discover yourself. And that requires stoicism. Like, you need to actually take time away from the world so that you can understand who you are. And then when you now blend back in, when you come to the world, you'll be able to blend, but you're not blending on a different level. Like, you're coming with more value. And then if you're coming with more value, people see that value, they appreciate you, and then you get all the accolades that you require or desire. And that's the way it has always been. You get? There's grace. There's also the place of hard work. There's also the place of favor. So people need to understand that all work is not bad, and all tradition is not bad.
Okay.
But the ones that are bad, we should talk about it. Thank you.
All right,
OJ,
thanks.
OJ. Dubem,
So
OJ don't
guys,
carry us go politics, carry us go philosophy, carry us go. He just be dragging us everywhere. As in, hey.
man, OJ. So guys, before we go on, any questions for OJ from the speaker section? Any question? Any question, guys? All right, guys. So no questions. So let's go to another speaker. So I think we'll go to a woman this time. Let's hear from Inner Peace.
Hi, Dubem. Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So, the topic, I've heard a lot of things that everyone has had to say. And quite frankly, I don't really have any opposing opinions on anything anybody has said, because I have realized that in this time that we are in, everybody relates to things differently. Everybody interprets things differently. But at the end of the day, we still have literal interpretations for movements and the reason why some of these movements started in the first place. So I think when someone was talking earlier, they talked about how woke culture had to do with realizing who you are as a person. And it was more related to indigenous people and black people. So it came from a point of view of, okay, we need to be aware, we need to be alert to things that are being done to oppress us in certain ways. I'm going to base what I'm going to say on my take on the natural hair movement. I think that most of us who are conversant with it know that the natural hair movement came with the woke movement. So it came with this whole don't touch my hair movement. Black girls don't have to succumb to a certain way of making their hair just to please a certain race or just to please the professional world. Because you have things like, oh, you can't wear your afro to work, you can't wear your cornrows to work, you can't wear this, you have to put on a wig, you have to straighten your hair, you have to relax your hair, all of that. So when the natural hair movement started, there were people who did not understand it. There were people who believed that, okay, this is it. We are all black kings and queens. Now every black person has to have their afro out. Like there were people who would go out of their way to attack ladies that have relaxed hair. And I'm not saying attack them physically. I'm saying attack them verbally. Like you have people telling ladies with relaxed hair, oh, you don't know your heritage. You are dumb. You are slow. When the natural hair movement started, I was in Ghana. As well, there are a lot of white people in Ghana, there are a lot of mixed race people in Ghana. So the hair texture is a big issue in Ghana. So when the woke movement started, when the natural hair movement came, it was not a thing like it was the Afro ladies against the relaxed ladies. Mind you, she's not in my room. Mind you, these ladies that we are calling the relaxed ladies were brought up in that way. They came up, their parents or their moms were relaxing their hair. This is what they know as a way to carry their hair. So now you just come in and say, okay, because I have caught on to this movement, you also have to catch on immediately. Some people were not even trying to teach the others. Some people were not even trying to explain to them why, relaxer is not good for your hair because of certain chemicals and certain chemicals. It was just a thing of, how dare you relax your hair? So then this still buys into the same, does the woke culture bring up toxic human beings? Yes, it does. And like other people have said, it brings out the toxicity that is already in you. Because yes, at this point, you're probably trying to oppose someone because they don't have the same hair preferences as you do. But it is the same way that when you're out there as a feminist, if you're an extremist, you would oppose people because they don't have the same views that you do. So in a way, it's a matter of being an extremist. It's a matter of being a fanatic. If you cannot gauge and check where your opinion ends, if you cannot understand that where your own right ends, another person's own starts, that is where we would have a problem. Because this same thing of you don't have to straighten your hair, you have to relax your hair, you're not supposed to relax your hair, you have to do this. I work in hospitality. I remember when I first started working there, I was still at this peak of always wanting to have my natural hair out, always wanting to pack my natural hair out. I had to literally have conversations with some of my supervisors. I said, why I don't think it's a problem. At least if I can make my hair look presentable, they shouldn't have a problem if I don't have braids in. They shouldn't have a problem if I don't have a certain kind of hair in. It took me a while to get them to understand that. But now, did I go in there calling all of them mad because they were telling me that I had to straighten my hair? No. Or did I go in there telling them, oh, they are not serious because they were telling me that, why do I need to have my afro out? What people do not understand, you're not going to make them understand it. You're not going to make them understand it by forcing your opinions or your views on them. And at the end of the day, if they do not accept it, you move on. That's just the way. It's a matter of live and let live. So if we don't understand that, that is where the toxicity becomes a problem. That's all I have to say.
All right. So in a piece here, about this woke culture, like there are things we see now that become very normal. I mean, I saw a video one time on Twitter about kids, toddlers kissing themselves. Did you guys see that video?
No, we don't watch your porn.
Yeah, I saw it.
No, it's not child porn, guys.
I saw it. Dubem.
Yeah, so like that's like, I mean that and people were like, oh, cute. That's being woke. People accepted that.
Toddlers doing what?
I think it was a kiss. And the comment section
There was
scared
one
me.
grinding. There was one that they were like grinding on each other,
No,
like the girl was
yeah.
twerking.
Like Shola, what scared me was the comment section. I was
Okay,
in oh
Dubem.
love emoji, oh my god, oh wow, so cute. Tell us what
Okay,
go on,
but
go on.
Dubem, I think that in my own opinion, I think that we all know the way the internet is. So it's a matter of how you are going to digest it. If you see a person's comment section and then everybody is saying, "Oh, this is so cute, children this day, blah 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 blah." I remember someone was talking earlier, and they were talking about the girl who had the video come out some time ago. I think she was like 12 or 13 years old, and then some people were. I remember having arguments with people, and some people were like, nowadays those things are normal because kids have access to phones and whatnot and whatnot." Now it's a matter of me. Am I going to, because I have younger ones who are way younger than me. I have a junior brother who is like what, 13 years old. Am I going to allow him to have a phone at that age? No. When I was his age, I wish that I had a phone. But now that I'm older, I understand why my parents did not give me access to those things. So now, as adults, what are we going to pass on to our younger ones? It's not about what other people are doing, because there would always be mad people out there. There will always be people who are going to do weird stuff that do not resonate with our own culture. Now, me saying culture is not me coming here to say, "Oh, our culture is what." No, even till tomorrow, you still have traditional things that have been abolished because they were extreme even at that time. So now we are allowed to now filter and say, okay, these are the ones that are good and these are the ones that we need to put aside. So it's a matter of what are the values that you want to pass on to your own generation, then you know what to take with you, because the internet will always be filled with a lot of things. So what are you going to take with you? Are you going to say, because people are saying that this is woke, that's why we need to try our best not to deviate from the main reason why a movement has started or a movement is going on. Excuse me to say, I know that there are people on this space who have issues with LGBTQIA, whatever. But now, me personally, I don't have a problem with homosexuals. I don't have a problem with lesbians. But when I see people who then come out and say, "Oh, they are furries," they call themselves furries. You see a child or an 11-year-old child coming out and saying, "I identify as a cat, I identify as a dog." What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Now, even me saying that I don't have a problem with the LGBTQ, I'm not saying that I'm going to actively allow any of my children, any of my offsprings to go that way. So it's a matter of what is okay with you. Collectively, if in this space you have 10 people who agree with a notion, it means that if those 10 people have 4 children, they are going to pass down that notion to 40 people down the line. So it's a matter of what kind of values are we taking with us and are we giving to our own children that are coming behind us.
Hmm. All right, then in the piece. So guys, I think she's done, guys. Yeah, I think she's done. So we're gonna go to a man now. So let's hear
Can I
from
go? Can I go, please? Can I go, please? My Wi-Fi is fucked up.
yeah, Scott, you've been here like since 12 p.m. So go on.
All right. Thank you. Let me quickly address a couple of things that was said. Can you guys hear me, Dubem?
Yeah, go on, Scott, go on.
All right. Let me quickly address a couple of things that was said before I address the topic. See, it is only ignorance or lack of exposure that will make you say after God is money in this life. You understand? There are like 4 other things after God before you get to money. They are more important or more necessary or more relevant than money, if not more. You understand? And then I don't know. We need to personalize the things we are saying. We need to personalize very well. If in your family they do not respect people that don't have money, it is only people that have money they respect. You speak for yourself. In other people's family, if you disrespect a person that is older than you, whether you have money or not, they will find you and you will pay. You understand? You will buy goat and you buy chicken to appease this person. Otherwise, you will not step foot in that family again. You will leave your money in your car, park it outside. And when you come down, you will kneel down and greet your elders, whether you are richer than them or not. You understand? You will pour drink and serve them. You will break on a nut and serve these people, regardless of how much you have. You understand? We still value these things in some of our families. Money does not automatically terminate your common sense or your traditional values. We don't do that. A lot of places don't do that nonsense. You keep your money and use your common sense. And then another thing I wanted to say, someone said the story, I think it's Ugebe. You see, that cleaner man that's in your company that is working, his wife is still living in his house. You understand? The megad, the truck pushers, the Okada riders, all of these people you see, they are not considered broke by the woman they are dating. No matter how poor they are, these women who they are dating are still significantly poorer than they are. So these women cannot refer to them as broke. You cannot just gaslight everybody on the concept of hypergamy like it doesn't exist. Do you understand? Some people, the fact that you have 15,000 naira in your account is a luxury to some people. They've not held 1,000 naira before. There are a lot of poor people in this place. And these women will not be with this man. They cannot offer them anything. Do you understand? So you cannot, the only way you can call a person poor is when you are richer than this person or the person cannot do anything for you. But you cannot be living in his house, eating his food, you are plaiting your hair, you're sending it, even the ones dating, they will send you card, they will send you money for that. You can call this person poor. No. Most probably you're with this person because he was able to offer you something in the first place. That's why you're with him. So because he's earning 25,000 naira does not mean that the woman he's staying with is a poor person or he's poor. You cannot call him poor. So you get. Now, to the topic, work culture. Yes, the people cooking for your husband is slavery. You don't owe anybody anything. Do whatever the fuck you want. Not them that. Um, you are working now. You're a career person. You're empowered. So men are scared of you when you talk. No, bitch. You're just loud, rude, and mannerless. Nobody is scared of you. Do you understand? Your repulsive, your behavior is very repulsive. That is why people avoid you. That is why people do not come close to you, not because they are scared of you. Nobody is doing that shit. You understand? If it gets to if it gets to competition and competence, you will not measure up in any way. You cannot be raising your voice, talking over people, and claim that because they avoid you, they're scared of you. They're just mannerless and rude. You understand? So you work on yourself and fix up, and you attract people. The whole culture is here to stay. Like I said, it's sad that we let it get to this point, but sensible people ignored it for so long. A very wise man said, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. So I'm remixing it now. The only thing necessary for the triumph of foolishness is for wise men to do nothing. You understand? We let this thing happen for so long and it crept into almost everything. And it's trying to destroy every family system, every value, traditional value that we have. If something is not broken, don't fix it. But this whole culture is not even attempting to fix it. It wants to replace it completely in its entirety and replace it with something that we do not understand, that does not work, that's already failing before it starts. You get, and it's here to stay. People have accepted it, regardless of the fact that it is driving everybody towards absolute chaos. It's here to stay. So the best thing you can do is to play the game, understand it, and protect yourself against it. Or maybe use it against the same people who are trying to destroy you with it. You can play the game. You can also do whatever the fuck you want. You understand? And then if you are in a society where it is the norm there to be woke and you still have sense, you understand? Like in the terms of marriage, do not commit to anybody. Do you understand? Don't commit to any bastard. Play your game, be a playboy, knock everybody you want to knock. If you must get married, make sure there's prenuptial agreement so that nobody will come and marry you and then dump you and take everything you have because in that climes, marriage is supposed to last for however you feel like it. It's no longer till death do you part. You cannot wake up and decide this person is not fine anymore and leave. Duty is out of the door and they'll leave you and take everything you have and you pay money for the rest of your life. Make sure you understand this thing. Get a prenuptial agreement before you marry, or better still, don't commit. If you want to knock the girl, knock her sister, knock her friend. If her mother is available, knock her join. Understand? Also, utilize your own consent as a man. It is not only women that can use their own consent. You also have a consent that you can utilize. Withdraw it at any time. From your body, withdraw consent from your body, from your house, your cars, all of these things. Understand? If you're unfortunate to be with a person like the last two speakers, lady, sorry, be ruthless. You understand? Don't pity them. They will not feel for you as you have heard. So do not feel for them.
You think it is evil? Does it mean that the women back then were weak? Then the generation of women that we have now are stronger than the generation of women we have before this 21st century? Because I'm 100% sure that there were women back then when men were making these laws that were against women. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know, maybe they were busy making up, standing in front of the mirror, checking their eyelashes and whatnot, while men were busy. So let's give it to men. This Burna song, this Burna Boy song, comment person, he says, we have our own roles. It doesn't mean that your own role is greater than mine. I think it's high time women understand that there are roles in this male and female thing. There are things a man is supposed to do and things a woman is supposed to do. Like a man can never carry pregnancy for 9 months. A woman is good in some aspects of things that a man cannot do, and a man is good in some aspect of life that a woman also cannot do. Although there are a microscopic number of women that can also participate in this area where men are good in. That is not disputable. That fact is not disputable. In as much as there are men also who can participate, microscopic number of them also who can do what women can also do. I don't mean giving birth and other things that are only left for women because a man cannot, give birth. So let us not use this woke culture thing because I think it has created more monsters, more mad people has been created. Now, they come around. First of all, let me tell you something. If you belong to the LGBTQ and the LMNOPQ, let me tell you something. You are not ice cream. You are not money. Not everyone will like you. So when you want people to like you, not everyone will like you. That's for a fact. You are not ice cream. You are not money. You are not Nyash, and I will not like you. That is for a fact. You people, you come here, don't how do they put it? Don't inherit enemy. Don't inherit enemy. But you are enemy to the devil. Is the devil your enemy? Is Christianity that made you believe that devil is your enemy? That you have never come encounter with devil, but because they say God has problem with devil, you are now having problem with the devil too. You see, these are the issues. You are not ice cream that everyone will love. You are not nyash. You are not breast. So if you are going to participate in a certain, sorry if I'm taking much time, I will end up. If you are participating in anything, you should as well as, take the disadvantages that comes with it. I am a Nigerian living in South Africa. There is a stereotype that every Nigerian living in South Africa deals on drugs or is a fraudster or doing all illegal activities. Then as a Nigerian, I don't go around trying to force anyone to like me. You understand that? I don't go around shoving it down people's throats, telling them you must like me. I don't open spaces to tell people, to tell South Africans to love Nigerians. I don't go to the news. I don't tell Netflix I don't do all those things. But for the fact that you people keep flying the flag, keep doing things, even on Netflix, even on cartoon that you kids are watching, because you are woke, that wokeness is nonsensical. We will not kowtow to the power of that wokeness. That wokeness, we don't agree. Okay, I don't agree to it. Let me be using I. Let it not be a problem. I don't agree to it. I don't go around telling South Africans to love Nigerians. I don't do it. We are being hated here, but it is what it is. It's the game. The game is the game. Life goes on. It is only the few people that you encounter that cannot tell you, no, not all Nigerians are like that. So the thing is, if you are a member of whatever group, LGBTQ, LMNOPQ, ABCD, or whatever, you are under the woke umbrella or whatever, just realize the moment you know that not everyone will like you, you will find peace of mind. Only then you will find peace of mind. Not everybody will accept you. Not every job that you have seeked for, not every application you apply that you got employment in a particular firm and you moved on. You didn't hate that particular firm. They didn't employ you for reasons best known to them. Now that you are work in your own area of specialty of workness, I'm saying it is not okay to me. It is not palatable to me. I don't want to accept it. I don't. Now you cannot open Netflix and watch a movie for, even when it's necessary, not necessary, they put a gay scene in it. This workness is choking us. It is very draining. To an extent, it is very fucking draining. And again, I want to say something before I round up. You see, these people that always come on spaces and say, I am a strong man, they are the weakest. They are weaklings. Weakest of all, especially the Kenyan men that always go around on spaces calling out all other countrymen, telling them they are weak, weak, weak. They are the weakest vessels. These men always come here and shouting, I am strong, I am a strong man, I am a strong man. It is only a woman will just touch them like this, they will fall yakata. They will fall. They are not firm in anything at all. You keep on coming to spaces, making noise. I am a strong man, I am a strong man. You are not strong, anything. You're a weak man. So stop coming to spaces and be mentioning that you're a strong man. So is the work culture creating more toxic women or men? It is creating more toxic women. Look at Lady Wiso. I will always mention that name. Very toxic human being. She's my friend, but she's toxic. I've met so many toxic people. This wokeness have made them toxic, very toxic. And the thing is, they are modern women that want to benefit from patriarchy. They want to benefit. They want to have the benefits of patriarchy. They want to be taken care of. They want to be out of anywhere. But they are very toxic. Dubem, I can see them. They are very toxic. I move the mic.
All right then, guys. Sorry I'm joking you guys because I'm actually in a hurry. So, guys, let's hear from our last speaker. Shala, please make it as brief as possible.
Oh, wow. Okay, let me try and make it brief. Thanks to Bem, R15, Digital, Uncle Charles as well, everybody I did here. So, I was going to answer the question very elaborately, but let me cut it down. The thing is that I don't think woke culture is creating, actually, realistically, it is creating toxic people, but more importantly, it's creating a culture of what I would call transactional morality. Being moral has become transactional, which has also made it demonstrative, made it performative, right? Everybody wants to perform morality. Everybody wants to appear good. And because everybody wants to perform, and because we're also in the place of social media, we now have the means to perform to a wide audience of people. I am currently performing as I'm speaking on a space with like over 200 people. So essentially, we're all performing, right? We're all performing our ethics, whatever it is that we believe in. Everyone has become a performer. But realistically, the hypocrisy starts when there's a huge gap between the things we say on social media and the things we actually practice when it comes to reality. So woke culture is creating a lot of that performative morality. But I think one thing that I see in today's world, realistically, I don't think human beings really change. I don't think woke culture has changed anybody. I think it's just maybe it's actually more revealing people for who they truly are. But one thing that has changed, narcissism has changed. Like, so back in the day, like narcissists used to be like people that were just like very selfish, very self-absorbed. They thought they were better than everybody. They thought they were more deserving. They were more entitled to things that everybody else wanted. They were just better and greater for their own reasons. That's what narcissism used to be. They want to be worshipped. They want to be adored. Want to be praised. They want to be celebrated. That's what narcissists used to be. But in today's world, what has happened is that narcissists are still very much the same. They want to be worshipped. They want to be praised. But in today's world, narcissists want you to feel sorry for them, right? So you're supposed to feel sorry for someone while you're watching them, you're celebrating them, you're worshiping them, you're admiring them, but you're supposed to still feel sorry for them. And I think that's what that has created, is that it has created a culture of victimhood, right? Everybody wants to be a victim while also being in the spotlight, while also being great, while also being a celebrity. Everybody wants you to feel sorry for them for one reason. Sorry, I got a phone call. So like basically, people want you to feel sorry for them while also being while also praising them. And I think what has happened a lot of times is that you have people not wanting to really stay in one category. They want to be, they want to eat the cake. They basically wants to eat the cake and have it. But I see this manifest more in women. Sorry to say, but I feel like women are actually much more prone to this. There's this idea that if you belong to a group that has been marginalized in the past, that means that today you have a free pass to be as toxic as you want, and no one can criticize you, no one can call you out. So I think woke culture is being used as a shield for people to just be as toxic as possible while still being seen as the victim and while not being held accountable. And I think that sort of mentality very much is very predominant when it comes to women. So yes, men and women are being toxic. I think men are toxic in the sense that they want to preserve things of the past that are not really useful anymore, just for the sake of preserving, right? Even when they see clearly that this thing is not benefiting you at all, even as a man, this thing is not good for you. It's actually making your life more difficult. Just for the sake of feeling as if they're preserving something, men want to preserve things that are not useful anymore. I think men are also toxic in that sense. And I also think women are toxic in the sense that they want to use wokeness as a way to get away with a lot of toxicity. So that's my own opinion on that. I was going to say a lot more, but since Dubem, I think you're about to close the space. I don't know. So let me just stop there. But yeah, thanks everybody.
All right, guys. Thank you very much, Shana and Uncle Charles and Tony, and also lovely Bonnie. So for the other requests and people on the request section, I'm sorry I can't take more requests right now because I have a meeting coming up. It's quite important, so I didn't plan it. So I mean, see you all again on the right on. I think I'll be on Monday or Tuesday. I mean, tomorrow's probably good. But today's Sunday. Yeah, tomorrow's probably holiday, so we'll probably be here in the right tomorrow. So do have a wonderful evening and do enjoy your night. Yeah, it's fine. Good night.